This is the time to be vigilant as the people of God. So that we can understand that we need to fight, we need to do what is necessary so that we can press. And then in that pressing and being able to break forth in some things to allow the true spirit, allow the love, joy, peace, all of these things to come, to percolate. And to become something that you can give off, because that's when you know you're flowing.
Yeah.
That's when you're living.
Yeah. This is no time to be off focus.
Right.
To be focused on things that have no meaning, things that have no lasting meaning for us. Ask Jesus, what is the greatest commandment? I know he shocked them, because a lot of people are going to be shocked to hear what the greatest commandment is. And we run all around, we go all around it. I'm going to say there are so many selfish Christians, I don't even want them to let that word come out of their mouth sometimes. I said, when I look at what they're doing, I say, you're so self-entitled and selfish. I said, Jesus said, if you don't love God with all your heart, all your strength, and all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself, he said, you're not fulfilling my commandment. Right. He said, on these two, hang all the commandment.
Hi, this is Pat and Katie Jordan of Life Touch Ministries in South Carolina, letting you know that together we can change and touch our world. It's an honor. It's a privilege to be used.
It is, especially when you don't know, you feel like nothing harder. Why would he use someone like you?
Mm-hmm.
How he can use somebody like you? That's how much he loves us, and he wants us.
I think it's a part of the spirit. It's a part of the human spirit, especially one that's in tune with God. It's a part of the human spirit to want to give.
Yeah.
Or to want to express.
Yeah.
And it's like, a lot of people may feel like they're on the shelf and they can't express.
Yeah.
They can't give of themselves or whatever. But it's a liberating thing to be able to give of yourself, to express yourself. And that expression has to be coupled with being able to have someone to express it to. I mean, if you're just expressing to yourself, what good is that? It's about being able to express who you are so that there's a reciprocating element that can acknowledge what you just expressed. I mean, that's living. That's living. Anything outside of that is not living. Even if people do evil things or whatever, they do evil because it needs to be reciprocated. It needs, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You can't love by yourself.
No.
You can't hate by yourself.
Yeah.
You can't do anything by yourself.
Gotta have an object.
There has to be an object that can affirm or confirm or be a witness to. And then you can convict. Then you can establish something when that comes into place. So living a life that you're not able to share, to help. That's why the spirit-filled life is about a life of service. Yeah. It's about helping. It's about being able to touch people, being able to give of yourself. If you're not in a place like that, then, you really need to, and listen, it can happen. Because you can get so inundated with the affairs of life to where it stifles you. It clouds your thinking. All of these things can happen in your life that's keeping you bound and oppressed and suppressed to allow the life to come forth. And when we're talking about in the season and time that we're in, this pandemic and what's going on, it's another layer of suppression. It's another layer or another cloud layer that is keeping us from really being able to give off of who we are. another thing that we're having to fight with. So this is the time to be vigilant as the people of God.
It really is.
You know, so that we can understand that we need to fight. We need to do what is necessary so that we can press. And then in that pressing and being able to break forth in some things that allow that true spirit, allow the love, joy, peace, all of these things to come, to percolate and to become something that you can give off, because that's when you know you're flowing.
Yeah.
That's when you're living.
Yeah.
You know, and God's desires that all of us come to a place like that. Even in your daily life, regardless of what's going on in your life, you know, it's about being able to be alive today, to live today, you know?
That's what I love. I love life and I love living. And it's amazing for some people. I want to encourage them, because when just about it seems when they come to a point in their life to where they said, I'm going to live. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to be more thankful. I'm going to be more vigilant. I'm going to be more, whatever you promise the Lord, you're going to be more so and do more. So that's when it seems like the enemy comes in and he hits you and try to push you back. So that's why I understand now where it says when the enemy comes in, but like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord will raise up a standard against him. So in order for that to happen, we have to always be vigilant. This is no time to be off focus, to be focused on things that have no meaning, things that have no lasting meaning for us. The things of life, they're going to fade away one day. All this is going to pass away. So the things that people are worrying about now, like how their hair looking, am I going to get my nails done, and what about my eyebrows and all this kind of stuff? You know, I look at how much value people place on things like that. There was a time, especially if you're a person that you weren't born with a silver spoon, to say in your mouth. You didn't even think about things like that. You were just happy for your daily bread. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us. You were just happy for the things that it took for you to be able to not just survive that day, but for you to have a certain level of life, to be able to live on a daily basis. You were satisfied. You were just as happy with that. So when you really did get a blessing, for sure, a miracle, you knew how to appreciate it. But now we're just so, what word would I use? We're just so blessed, and when we think that God owes us something, you know. We're so blessed. God just blesses us and blesses us. We're so entitled. That's what I want to say. That's the word I'm looking for. We are so entitled. We feel like God owes us this. You owe us that. And if God don't owe it to you, you feel like somebody else do. Yeah, you know. And when you try to approach people and get them to think about their personal walk and where they are with God, and what about their children, what about their lives and everything else, and have you thought about this, especially when you see them walking in a way that's pulling them far from God. The first thing they say, I got a right. You know, they come back at you with, I got a right to do this and I got a right to do that, and I'm an American citizen, or I'm a citizen of whatever country you're in, and I got rights. Yes, you do have rights. This book right here tells you of all the rights you have. You have many rights. You have so many rights. But what God wants you to realize is He gave you those rights, but He means for you to use them for godly things, good things. Not to just focus on yourself, but to focus on other people too. And me and one of my daughters, we were talking, and I said, I was looking at television, I was seeing people and how they said, well, they were trying to justify some of the things that they were doing that it wasn't God-like, it wasn't Christ-like. And they say, well, the first thing they say, well, I got a right, I'm a Christian or whatever. I said, they forgetting the one main thing that Christ told us when he was here. Yeah, we have all the laws in the Old Testament. We don't just have the laws, we have the blessings. But when Christ spoke, I believe, what did I tell you? Well, Matthew 4 and 36, or Matthew 26 and 36, where he gives the great commandments. And I'm glad I got this Bible in my hand, because I said, Lord, when I give out anything, I want to give it out to where people will be able to find it and know what you are saying.
Mm-hmm.
When the people were pressing him, even his disciples were pressing upon him and asking him, well, what should we do? How should we do it? What is the law? What does the law say? What is the greatest? They didn't even say two. They just said, what is the greatest commandment? Mm-hmm. They pressed Jesus. What is the greatest commandment? And what we as saints of God forget. We forget this. I got my glasses, and sometimes I have them, won't even put them on. and I realize that I can see better without them. I can see so much better without my glasses. I mean, with my glasses. But we are asked, we so focused on everything else and what we want and what rights we have, and we have a right to do this and we have a right to do that. But that's what they were focused on, and they asked Jesus, what is the greatest commandment? And Jesus, I know he shocked them, because a lot of people are going to be shocked to hear what the greatest commandment is. And we run all around, we go all around it. And we have, even as Christians, we have developed the mentality, I got mine, you got yours. You get yours for yourself. If I can do it, you can do it. We are not all the same.
Right.
We are not all the same. There are some people that are less equipped mentally than you are.
I pull myself up.
Yeah, there are some people that are that don't have the physical abilities that you have. They don't have the spiritual abilities that you have. Right. And you expect them. You say they can do just that. There are some people. Jesus said that's why you should seek your own brother's welfare more than you seek your own, because the abilities that God has given you, you ought to be thankful that he's blessed you with such abilities.
Right.
And he said the first commandment is to love the Lord with all your heart, with all your strength, and all your mind. That's the first. That's the first commandment. That's the first commandment. If you love the Lord with all your strength and all your heart, all your mind, it's taking every phase of you, your mind, your human part, your body, your physical part, and your mind, where the spirit is going to be able to enter in through and take control of all the rest of you. He said, and then the second is like unto it. Everybody forget. I thank God for the job that people are doing now, how they're looking out for their fellow man. So many people have risen up to the task, to the occasion, or whatever, the emergency. They've given, sacrificed themselves. I think about all of our healthcare workers and all the people that are working in the area of service. Service, I call them service workers, because they service mankind in some capacity. I think about all those people. And those people are carrying out that second. Love your neighbor as yourself.
Right.
A lot of people out here risking their lives because that's what they do. They obeying that commandment. They loving their neighbor as they said. They're not just so focused on themselves. I'm going to say there are so many selfish Christians. I don't even want them to let that word come out of their mouth sometimes. I said, when I look at what they're doing, I say, you're so self-entitled and selfish. I said, Jesus said, if you don't love God with all your heart, all your strength, and all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself, he said, you're not fulfilling my commandment. Right. He said, on these two, hang all the commandment, all the laws, all that you've received this whole book all the way back here. And anything that's spoken after he told them this. He said, on these two hang all the law and the prophets. Everything the prophets have spoke. He said, on these two, if you're not doing these two, you're breaking all of them and you're not obeying the prophets.
Right.
That's what he said.
But see, that's where the struggles of the day. That's where the pressures of the day. That's where the all the things that we have to contend with on a daily basis. All of the issues that we all have. That's the strategy. The strategy is to take you out of your focus and in understanding that what you just said, which is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, your strength, and your mind, and to love your neighbor. And so when we have these moments of stress, when we have these things that are going on, what is happening is it's depleting and it's undermining the true essence and focus of what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And that's what makes us grumpy. Yeah. That's what makes us. That's what takes us out. It takes you out of you.
It does.
And then when we're talking about you, what you? We're talking about the you that the scripture is talking about. The you who loves the Lord. The you who wants to flow in that integrity. That wants to flow in that sense of peace. That sense of achievement. Because when we're truly living, we're achieving, even in the daily basis. And then so when we take the priority off of what he said, the greatest of these is that's taking us out of our groove, if you will. That's taking us out of our strengths.
It is.
The Christian is being confronted with things in life that's making him weak, so that he can't be strong in the Lord.
Yeah.
Can't be strong in the giving to people.
Yeah.
Can't be strong in to be able to express God's beauty and God's love toward each other.
You can't, because you're not focused on nobody but yourself.
And that's where we're talking about the greatest commandment.
Yeah.
It's not just a platitude or something that you just say, hey, it's the greatest commandment. That's what God is saying. No, it's vital.
It is.
It's vital to your peace, to your success, to you having a sane mind.
Yeah.
It's vital to everything. Those two things. And when we lose focus, or when we tend to lose focus, during the course of the day or the issue and situations that we're in, that's how we are kept at bay.
Yeah.
And that's how the enemy gets inroads in our lives.